Hello students, welcome once more to Prepclass and Jamb Mathematics, and in this first edition we shall be looking at the following topics in Jamb Maths, Algebra and Polynomial. And let's take some questions in algebra. Now before we go on, I would like to say that every question carries equal marks, so that means every question should be treated equally. And what we did in this video was that we went through different years and picked questions on the topics, and those topics are laid out here. We did a very simplified work on them that will be easy for you to understand and for anyone to understand for excellence in Jamb. So let's check out the first question in algebra. We picked this question as one of the questions in the years. We have solved the following equation: 3x minus 2 all in bracket 2x minus 4 equals bracket 3x minus 2 all squared. Now what should be done in this is that we have two algebra, the first bracket and second bracket. You can see the question laid out here. Now what should you do? The first thing to do is not to expand. Now you might be deceived thinking, let me start expanding, but no, don't begin by expanding. Just make this one to be double, since this is squared, so make it double. That will become 3x minus 2 and 3x minus 2, right? Now there's a similarity between the left hand side and the right hand side. Can you see that this is actually the same with this one? So I cancel it out. So I'm left with 5x minus 4 equals 3x minus 2. What's common is x, and the ones that have x, so collect like terms. So 5x, this 3x will jump from here to the left hand side, and the sign will change to negative. It will become minus 3x. Then this 4 here, it will come to this one because it has no x. It will become plus 4. So I have 5 minus 3x is equal to 2x equals minus 2 plus 4, which is 2. Dividing by 2, 2 cancelled out. If you divide both sides by 2, you'll be getting 2 over 2, so my s is therefore 1, and that's the answer to the first one. Second question from another year, we have s minus 7 all over x squared minus 9 equals s squared minus 3s over s squared minus 49, right? Now first thing is to simplify each time in this expression. We have s minus 7 on top. It can be simplified further over s squared minus 9 can be simplified further, yet it will become s squared minus 3 squared. You know 9 is 3 squared, so make both of them to have square. It will become s squared minus 3 squared times, simplifying this one, you will need to factorize, and that's s squared minus 3s. Something is common, x. It will become x bracket x minus 3. How come? Because this s squared, so s squared, s is common in both sides, right? So if you remove the x, it will remain 1x minus, if you remove the x from it, it will become 3. So s bracket 3 x minus 3. Then this one, because 49 like 9 is a perfect square, it can be made s squared minus 7 squared, and that's what I have here, and that's what it means to simplify. So now we have s minus 7 on top. Then below, now there's something in maths called difference of two square. When you have a square and a square and you have a difference in between, it will become negative and positive. You can see what I did. I actually did not solve this thing. I only removed the square and make it double. One was negative, s minus 3, and one was positive. That's the way we solve any maths question that have two squares and a difference in between. It's called difference of two squares, and that's what I have here, s minus 3 here and then s plus 3 here. That's the answer to this one. Then times s minus s bracket x minus 3 over, this is another difference of two squared, s squared, s 7 squared, and I will have s minus 7 here, then s plus 7 here. So it will give me this will cancel this, and this will cancel this because they are the same. So I'm left with 1 here over s plus 3 times x over s plus 7. If you multiply, you'll be getting x on top over this and this. That will give me s plus 3 in bracket, s plus 7 in bracket, and that is the answer to that question, making option D the correct answer. Number 3, we have the next one is a simultaneous equation. You know it's simultaneous when there are two unknowns and there are two expressions, two equations in to be solved. So this simultaneous, how do you solve? You can use elimination method. So I used elimination method. Now the coefficient in the front here is 2, the one here is 10. So this 10 below will multiply up, while this 2 on top will multiply down. It will give me 2s minus 3y equals 10 times 10. Why 10? Because 10 is the coefficient below. It will multiply the one on top. Then 10x minus 3y equals 5 times 2. Why 2? Because 2 is the coefficient on top, and it will multiply everything below. So if you multiply through, you'll be getting 10 times 2 is 20x, 10 times 3 is 30y, 10 times 10 is 100, 2 times 10 is 20x, 2 times 6 is 12y, 2 times 5 is 10. If you minus through, you'll be getting 20x minus 20, that's cancelled, that's 0, right? Then minus 3y minus, because I'm minusing everything, it will become minus 3y minus is plus. So it will give me minus 3y minus and minus 12y equals 100 minus 10. You know, you have to minus up from down. That's what I wrote here. And then it will give me minus and minus is plus. That will give me minus 30y plus 12y equals 100 minus 10 is 90. So I'll collect, like, I'll actually work on the ones that have the y. So minus 30 plus 12 is minus 18 equals 90. Dividing by minus 18, 90 over minus 18 is actually minus 5. And that's my answer for y. Now plug in your answer for y into any of the equation, whether equation 1 or 2. So I chose to use equation 1 because the numbers are not big. Now plug in for y, plug in y equals minus 5 into equation 1. And that will give me 2x minus bracket minus 3 bracket minus 5. Y minus 5 because y is minus 5. So this is the equation I'm working with. So I replace the y with minus 5. So I have 2x minus 3 brackets minus 5 equals 10. And that will give me 2x minus minus is plus. 3 times 5 is 15 equals 10. Then the 15 will jump from here to the other side. It will change the sign to negative. 2x equals 10 minus 15 and x is therefore minus 5 divided by 2. That will give me minus 2 number 1 over 2, and that is my answer for that. Now the next one is also a simultaneous equation, but just that this one is a simultaneous equation that has to do with you will need to do some work on it. That means you cannot really use elimination method, and I'll tell you the difference between this one and the previous one. The difference is that this previous one has no a power of 2. It has no power of 2. Why this one has a power of 2? This can only be solved by substitution method. So I chose this question because it will afford me the opportunity to show you substitution method also. And now this means that I cannot use this method to solve this one. I can't use elimination to solve this one because this has a square, s squared. Now this is the question laid out. First thing is to bring these numbers that have no letter to the right hand side. That will become s squared plus y equals 8. I mean the minus 8 here jumped to this side and became plus 8. Then 5x plus y equals 2. And minus 2 here became plus 2 here. And that's what I have here. Then next thing is to solve from this one below that has no square. Substitute, make y the subject. That means remove the 5s to the other side. It will become 5s plus y equals 2. Y equals 2 minus 5s. What I just did was that this 5s moved from here to the other side and became negative. So this is equation 3. Now equation 3 is laid out now. So plug in equation 3 into equation 1. Why equation 1? Because I have not used equation 1 at all. I started with equation 2. I got equation 3. Now I must plug in equation 3 into equation 1 because I haven't used equation 1 before. So now wherever you see y, put 2 minus 5x. Now this actually equation 1 here. This is my equation 1 here. So I will replace this y with 2 minus 5x. So s squared is still s squared. Then instead of y, I'll put 2 minus 5x equals 8. And that will give me s squared minus 5 x plus 2. This 8 will come over here and become minus 8 equals 0. This is going towards quadratic equation. Now s squared minus 5x plus 2 minus 8 is minus 6 equals 0. Now solve the quadratic equation. That will become this is minus 6. The factor of minus 6 that will give me minus 5 is actually minus 6 plus 1. How? Minus 6, if you plus minus 6 and 1, it will give you minus 5 as your answer. So then the factor of minus 6 that will give minus 5 is actually minus 6 plus 1. So I'll plug in this factor as my answer. That will become s minus 6 and x plus 1 because those are the two factors that I have. So this question will change into this format: s minus 6 and s minus 1, and that's my answer, equals 0. So I'll now do s minus 6 is equal to 0, or s plus 1 is equal to 0. This minus 6 will jump from here and come over here. It will become s equals 6, or the s plus 1 will jump from here and become s equals minus 1. So my answer is 6 or minus 1, and that makes C the correct answer. Wow, there's still one. Now this one is actually a quadratic expression. A polynomial. So, and it is actually a fractional polynomial. So we can solve it in more than one way, but I think we can just solve this one using algebra instead of polynomial. So we'll just simplify each term here. Now first thing first, you have this expression, right? Now what to be done is that you have s to the power 3 plus s to the power 2 minus s to the power minus 10x. Now this is actually, the first thing to do is that something is common. S is common, so remove the x. X is common. I'll be left with x squared plus 3x minus 10 over what's common below. 2 is common. 2 can divide 8, so 2 is common. So 2 out, I'll be left with s squared minus 4, and that's what I have here. So now what is in the bracket here is a quadratic equation, so expands factorize it. That will give me, what factor of minus 10 will give me 3? 5 and 2 will give me 3 if I minus them, and that will be plus 5 minus 2. So I will have s bracket s plus 5 and s minus 2 over 2 in bracket. Then the one below, s squared and 4s is actually difference of 2 squared. You know, I told you before that if you have difference of 2 squared, you can just make it plus and minus, and that means that s squared minus 4 will become s squared minus 2 squared, because 4 is 2 squared, and that will give me s bracket s plus 5 s minus 2 over x minus 2 and s plus 2. You know, that is from difference of 2 squared. One will be negative and one will be positive. And then since there are some common terms there, s minus 2 is up and down, you just cancel it out. So I'm left with s bracket s plus 5 over 2 bracket s plus 2, and that is the answer to that question. Okay. Now let's talk about inequality. Now inequality is a type of algebra, but just that the difference is that inequality doesn't use equals to, it uses greater than or less than and so on. Now this is an inequality question. That means everything that I did in algebra applies here. So we have minus 6 bracket s plus 3 is less than or equals to 4 bracket s plus minus 2. And now first thing to do is to expand the bracket. That will become minus 6s minus 18 is less than or equals to 4x minus 8, and that will give me minus 6s equals collecting like terms. Now the 4x will come over here, it will become minus 6s minus 4x is less than or equals to minus 8 plus 18. Minus 10s is less than or equals to 10, dividing by minus 10, that will give me x. Now notice one thing, when the minus 10 came from here to this side, because it's a negative sign, it will change the sign. So that means that because what I have here is negative minus, when it is moving from here to this side, the sign will change. It will become s is greater than or equals to 10 over minus 10, giving me s is greater than or equals to minus 1 as my answer, and that's the answer to the first inequality. Now second inequality is actually just greater than. So I have s squared plus 2s is 15. I'm solving this thing just like normal algebra, so but it's just that the signs are not the same. So I have here s squared plus 2s is 15. Bring the 15 over here, that will become s squared plus 2s minus 15 is greater than 0, right? Now this is now quadratic. Notice that this is quadratic equation, so I'm looking for the factor of 15 that will give me 2, and that's 5 and 3 plus 5 minus 3 is plus 2, and that's it. So plug in the two factors, s plus 5 and s minus 3 is greater than 0. Then that will give me s plus 5 is greater than 0, or s minus 3 is greater than 0, giving me s is greater than minus 5 or s is greater than 3, and that is that for that on that inequality. Now solve this inequality. Now we have actually in this one we have 3 cases of inequality. Minus 6 is less than 4 minus 2s is less than 5 minus x. Now this is 3 separate inequality. First thing to do is to separate them. I'll do 4 minus 2s is greater than minus 6. What do? I only turn the format. 4 minus 6s first, then is greater than, this minus 6 came this way, so I just turned it, and when I turned it, the sign turned. So that's just it. And then the next thing is this one in the middle, 4 minus 2s is less than 5 minus x. Now this equation 1 and this equation 2. Now solve these 2 equations. Solving the first, I'm solving for the first now. Now I have 4 minus 2s is greater than minus 6, right? Now the 4 we move from here to the other side. That means I'm collecting like terms. So I have minus 2s is greater than minus 6 plus 4. You know, when the number move from here, the sign will change to negative because it's positive here, right? Now I have minus 2s is greater than minus 6 plus 4. Minus 2s is greater than minus 10. Dividing by 2. Minus cancel minus, dividing by 2. 10 over 2. S is greater than 5, and that is the answer to that question. Now the next one is actually the second one. So let's do that. So I have 4 minus 2s is less than 5 minus x. Correcting like terms, I'll be having 4 here. The 5 will move to this side, it will become minus 5. Then minus x, the minus 2 will become plus 2. So I have 4 minus 5 is minus 1 is less than x, and that's what I have here. So my answer is now between minus 1 and 5. That will become minus 1 is less than x is less than 5, and that is the answer to that question. Full stop. The answer should have been rather, because there's an equals to sign here, that means I should have included an equals to sign in this one. That means the answer should have been less than minus 1 is less than x is less than or equals to 5, and that makes the answer B. is the correct answer. You see, I didn't write the right question. There's an equals to sign in this place, and that is just it for that question. Now, for what range of value? For what range of value of s is 1/2s plus 1/4 is greater than 1/3s plus 1/2. Now this is actually a fractional inequality. Now, and what to be done here is this. It's actually very simple. Just put the x on top. S over 2. This s will move from the side up. S over 2 plus 1/4 is less than s over 3 plus 1/2. Now find the LCM of the denominator and plug in the LCM beside each of them, so that you will eliminate the fraction. Now the ones I have below are 2, 4, 3, 2. The LCM of all this number below is 12. So I'll plug in 12 beside each term. 12, 12, 12, 12. And that will give me 2 cancel 12 is 6. I'm left with 6x. 4 cancel 12 is 3. I'm left with 3. It's less than 3 cancel 12 is 4. 4x. Then 2 in 12 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. So now it is now straight and simple, right? Then just collect like terms. So I have 6x. The 4x will come from here to this side and become minus 4x. Then greater than 6, then minus 3. And that will give me 4 minus 4x is 2x is greater than 3, 6 minus 3 is 3. So dividing by 2, x is greater than or equal to 3/2, and 3/2 is my answer, and that is the end on inequality. Now let's talk about polynomial finally. Now find the remainder. I have this is divided by this. Now in polynomial, how do you divide? This is in the bracket, this is divided by this. Now when you are trying to divide polynomial, just focus on the first number only, the first term. This is s squared dividing s raised to the power 3. Don't divide the rest, just divide the first one only, the first one. So s squared in s raised to the power 3 will remain 1x. Now if you cut double of x out of triple of x, it remains 1x, and that's what I have here, x. Now I don't have this minus 2 from the beginning, I had only x. So now x is my answer on top here. Now s multiplied by this is going to give me what? S times s squared is s cubed, right? So s cubed will be under s cubed. Then s times 1 is x. Now this is s squared, s raised to the power 2. S times 1 is x. X can't stay under s squared, so this is 0. Then but the s will stay under this 3x because they are the same x. Okay, and that's what I have here. So now I will now minus this is cancelled, that's 0. 2 minus 2s squared minus 0 is actually minus 2s squared. Then plus 3s minus x is 2x. Then bring down the last term. Then divide again. S squared will divide this one, only the first one, remember? So it will remain minus 2, and then minus 2 is on top here. Minus 2 times s squared is minus 2s squared. Then minus 2 times 1 is actually minus 2. But the minus 2 can't be under the s. It has to be under the number. So this is actually 0 here. Okay? So I have minus 2s squared, minus 2s squared. This cancels, that's 0. Then minus 3 minus 2, because everything here is minusing. So minus 3 minus 2. Minus is plus. So that's minus 3 plus 2. And that's actually minus 1. So I have here 2s here, and 0 is 2s minus 1, and that's my remainder. So my remainder is what they ask. Now this is the answer on top. Answer is s minus 2 on top, but the remainder is 2x minus 1. And the question says find the remainder, not the answer. So the remainder is 2x minus 1, giving me A as the correct answer to that polynomial. Next one is actually, you have if s equals 1 is the root of the equation 3s squared minus 2s squared minus 5s plus 6. Find the other root. Now you have s equals 1. The first thing to do is to make it into an expression, not an equation. So it will become, from 1 it will become minus 1. That will become s minus 1, and that's it. Now if you have plus 1 as equals to s, it will become s minus 1. That means the opposite. Now if you have minus 1, if it has been s equals minus 1, it will become s plus 1. That means you'll be working with s plus 1. So just use the opposite of whatever it is equated to, and that's what so I'll be using, since s equals 1, I'll be using s minus 1, because the opposite of plus 1 is minus 1. So I have this now. So I'll be working with this, I'll be dividing this expression with s minus 1, and that's what I have here. Now s divided s cubed is s squared. S squared times s is s cubed. S squared times 1 is s squared, and that's what I have here. So this minusing, next thing minus, this cancels this, then minus 2s squared minus s squared, that's actually minus s squared, because 2 minus is plus, and that's plus 1. So minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. So I have minus 1s squared, right? Then bring down the 5s. Please don't bring down the 5s and the 6. Bring down only one term at a time. And that's what I have here, minus s squared minus 5x. Okay, now the next thing is actually divide again by x. So s in s squared is actually minus x. Okay, minus s times x is minus s squared. Minus s times 1 is actually plus x. Okay, then minus this will minus this cancels this. I'm left with minus 5 minus plus x. Minus plus is minus, so minus 5 minus x is actually minus 6x. Then bring that last term, okay, plus 6. Then s cancels this. I'm left with minus 6 here, so minus 6 will come on top. Minus 6 times s is minus 6s. Minus 6 times 1 is plus 6. This minus this is 0, so my answer is just s squared minus s minus 6. Now that is the answer, and they said find the other roots. So I have only gotten the answer. I can now find the other root by factorizing the answer, because this answer can be further solved. An answer that is a quadratic equation can still be solved again. So I'll solve it further. Now that will give me the factor of minus 6 that will give me minus 1 is actually minus 3 plus 2. Minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1, right? Now that will now be plugging minus 3 plus 2 to become the factor of that, and that will give me s minus 3 and s plus 2. So my factors are therefore from the beginning s equals 1, and next factor is going to become s equals 3, and the last factor will now become s equals minus 2. Remember I said that it will be the opposite of what you get when you factorize. So this is minus 3, it will become 3. This plus 2, it will become minus 2. So the two factors remaining are 3 and minus 2, and that is the answer to that question, making C the correct answer to that question. Now the last one for this video, the factor of a polynomial is that which can divide into it without remainder, and that's what I have here. Okay, and then okay, so the first thing to do is actually this: find the other factor. So we've been given one factor to find the other factor. What should we do? What we have been doing since. So we'll just divide this into this. 9 divided 27 is 3. S squared divided s cubed is x. So I have 3x here. Now 3s multiplying everything here. 3s times 9 is 27. S times s cubed is s cubed. Then 3s times 9, excuse me, 3s times 6, sorry, second one is 18. S times s is s squared, then y. There's still y here. 18 s squared y. Then 3x times 4 is 12. Then x times y squared is xy squared. So I'll just minus. So this cancels this. I'm left with actually I'm left with 0 is nothing. So I'm left with minus 18. Okay, minus 18 s squared y. Then minus this minus will come in for this. That will become minus 12xy squared. Then this is actually minus 8y squared. So I will bring down this minus 8y squared. So I have this now. Now y divide minus 18 is minus 2y. Okay, but this is actually 9x squared. 9x squared in this is actually minus 2y, and that's what I'll get here. So minus 2y multiplying into everything here. Minus 2y times 9 is minus 18 s squared y. Then minus 2y times 6 is actually minus 12 xy squared. Then minus 2y times 4 is actually minus 8y cubed. Then if you minus everything, since they are the same thing, it will amount to 0. So the second factor will be 3x minus 2y, and that is the answer to that question. And that brings us to the end of this video. Until we see again, guys, take care of yourself and bye for now.